Hello everyone, welcome back to another Rosie video. Today we're talking about a kind of hot topic right now in the Call of Duty community, and that is the release of Black Ops 6. More specifically, we're talking about the release of the newest Zombies map, Liberty Falls. Now, just a little bit of info about myself. I've been playing Call of Duty for a very, very long time now. I started playing a lot in the original Modern Warfare 2 era and a little bit at World at War, but I wasn't that into the game at World at War. I love the original Zombies. You know, I played it very, very heavily back in the day from basically Black Ops 1, World at War to Black Ops 3. I played a little bit of Black Ops 4, but not enough that I could have any legitimate critiques or anything like that. I got a thing of cookies. That's kind of fun, a little Easter egg there. Um, Regardless, today we're talking about Liberty Falls, not the older games. I am coming back to Call of Duty after a little bit of a hiatus over the years, and I have to say, I personally have been enjoying Liberty Falls as a map. It's, not the traditional Zombies experience, and I don't think we'll ever get the traditional Zombies experience again. Though more on that later. I'm not just gonna drop that and not talk about it more, but for initial reaction, I have to say Liberty Falls was much, much better than I anticipated, and I understand the initial like hesitant reaction that people had with it. Because when I first saw the map get spoiled and released, I had a lot of different thoughts running through my head. Specifically, score streaks on the map, mini maps, health bar, it being in broad daylight, like a lot of things that just weren't seen in the original zombie maps, like World at War and Black Ops 1. Um, I'm here to tell you, as somebody who was very, very hesitant of that, and honestly, it scared me for what I thought I was going to think about the game. It doesn't really end up mattering at the end of the day because Liberty Falls is a fun map to play, regardless of any. That was actually sick that I just did that jump. It's still a fun map to play, regardless of what you truly deem the traditional zombies experience. Um, Personally, if I'm thinking of like map comparisons for Liberty Falls, I honestly think of Town from Black Ops 2. And when we talk about Black Ops 2, I also would like to point out that on release, Black Ops 2 was not regarded very highly for zombies. At least I remember when Black Ops 2 was released. I didn't remember people being the biggest fan of zombies because people didn't really like transit. It felt like a lot of the maps were just really small and incomplete, obviously like Town and stuff like that. But as time went on, Town kind of grew into becoming a fan favorite. It's actually one of my personal favorite maps. I guess we have no ammo now. Sorry, I'm playing live and talking, so I might sound a little bit all over the place. But Town wasn't initially regarded as as good of a map as it is deemed now. Now, gaming has evolved a lot since Black Ops 2 and since the Black Ops 1 era and anything that I would deem the glory days. And if you compare like the gaming marketplace, essentially, this is kind of I don't know. I don't know if I can get this across the way that I want to get it across, but essentially the era that those glory days games came out in, and the era of COD, that era of COD and what they were competing with is completely different than the era and the types of games that are very common in the market today. Back when Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 released, battle royales weren't even really a thing. Battle royales weren't a thing besides like Minecraft Hunger Games. Um, that kind of changes the perspective for me on what I'm expecting out of these games and what will come from them, and like and all this stuff. COD doesn't have to is not appealing for the same type of UI, the same type of, you know, what is fun in the game itself, what people enjoy doing, crafting systems, eat more Easter eggs, less Easter eggs, whatever it is. There's so many different things that can affect in what they are trying to deem as marketable. Accessibility is another big one. They want the games to be more accessible than the older COD. So they put in things like score streaks. They put in things like, you know, picking whatever gun you want from the get-go and having a starting class. That was something that I was hesitant about too. Having a starting class is not something that has been in Zombies or it has been in Zombies. I'm talking about Black Ops 3 and previously. You always started with a pistol. That was like that's what made Zombies. Um, Now, I think this thing, when you open your mind up to the idea of this is what is common now, and this is what they have to essentially, this is the product they have to make in order to be competitive on the market, it changes your perspective on how you receive those products. Now, another thing I think that really affects the game and makes it feel not like the older CODs is the new Omni movement in Black Ops 6. You can sprint in any direction now. Like, I'm sprinting sideways right now. I'm sprinting backwards right now. I'm sprinting at a diagonal right now. That movement is completely different than the classic stiffness of the older Call of Duties. I don't know if you guys have gone back and played the older CODs recently, but when you go back and play the older CODs, there's a certain, like, level of rigidity, or rigidity. I don't know how to, I don't know exactly what word that would be. Regardless, there's a level of stiffness that you don't ever experience in the newer game because of the new movement direction thing. And it wouldn't really make sense for them to put in two different movements and like a movement for multiplayer and a movement for zombies. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they need to do that. That would be pretty silly, I think. That's actually really big. We could do the Easter egg, or starting an Easter egg with that score streak. Anyway, that rigidness in those games, I think, kind of plays into what feels like older Zombies. This game doesn't feel like Zombies because we can do things like I can run over to this car right here and I can vault it and I can jump it and I can, you know, sprint sideways and slide into and run into a dive. Like, those didn't exist in the older Zombies. You could run forward and you could dive, and nothing was really vaultable. You couldn't really like run over stuff like this, like I'm doing right now. That makes a big difference in the overall feel of the game. And like I said, this isn't really necessarily Black Ops 6's fault. This is just what modern gaming is. The hardware is capable of running much more sophisticated programs on it. The software is just better designed to handle movement that moves in omnidirectional or whatever. I think that's what it's called. Regardless, there is things about the map I would still change. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that this is the best Zombies map of all time. It's not. For me personally, that's Call of the Dead. But there are things that can improve. One thing I'm not the biggest fan of, I don't really like how it's daytime all the time on this map. I kind of wish that it had a darker, more like sinister vibe that Zombies typically has. I get why they picked daytime for this map. It's a release map. It introduces people to COD. This is the kind of map that, like, if you want to show your girlfriend how to play a game, you're showing your girlfriend how to play the game with this map. That's what this is. It does that job very well. I'm not expecting this to be Mob of the Dead levels of storytelling and of, you know, just general play. I would change it to darkness, but that's just for me as like a long-time Zombies player and enjoyer, what I would selfishly like, if that makes sense. But besides that, let me know down below what you think. Is this map as good as people say it is? Is it as bad as people say it is? Like, do you think they should change the darkness? Do you think they should change anything else like that? Just let me know. I'm curious to hear what your guys' comments are. Besides that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week. I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to check out my other stuff. And don't forget to like and subscribe.